Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today we're gonna have an easy time. I've had a good night's sleep for the first time in a week, and as such, I have that strange semi-hungover feeling after not having slept properly for a long period of time and then doing it. So I feel confident that this run is going to be incredible, and starting off with Bethany right here, we can technically destroy all this with the flame because it does have a spectral tear effect. But let's just destroy this poop and speed this up a little bit. Hopefully that one that's going in the other direction isn't going to be a problem. And doesn't look like it because all of his friends were unfortunately destroyed in time. So we should be okay. What do I have to do with this character? More or less everything except for the lamb, I guess. So let's see what we can do about that. We have free lemonade. And there went our charge to the best enemy in the game. I'm not sure what kind of wisps, fires, whatnot we're going to get from this, but I'm hoping it's going to be something interesting. We do not have money for anything, otherwise I would definitely buy Buddy in a box, as it is part of the conjoined transformation, and I do feel it's usually a better item than having nothing, so perhaps we will come back for that. Let's just do that. We have created a fairly large wisp there, actually. It seems to be crying a little bit, but overall having an okay time. Since we're Bethany, I might as well enter some of these curse rooms as well, since we're going to get our red hearts back anyway. A full card doesn't sound too bad. Just to have. Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd rather have that. Even though full card is pretty good, I don't mind this. I don't mind being able to blow this up somewhere along the line and getting a little bit of extra consumables out of it. So hopefully it's going to work out. I'm not sure if the size of this flame is going to help us out in the long run, but I do hope it will. Let's just place down this right here. Probably could have saved some of my soul hearts, actually. It was not yet fully charged, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta take risks. Oh, we're creating like an Aquarius effect at this point, actually. That's pretty good. That might actually end up being pretty effective in the long run. This is not my favorite room in the game. And there went both of my flies, unfortunately. It can be a little tricky to keep those flies alive. But, and I say flies, I mean fires almost exclusively throughout this run when I'm going to say flies. I'm just very used to saying flies, I guess, because of this video game and also due to the enemy we're currently facing. But yeah, we'll just have to live with that. Ultimately, even without flies, Bethany is still a character that it just plays like Isaac, so if I can play without the flames, then I can probably do that. But the flames are a nice thing to have regardless. It's a little bit of extra damage. If I can have some of that Aquarius effect on the floor and actually deal damage with that as well, that would be ideal. Though it did seem to disappear rather rapidly, which I'm not loving, but ultimately there's not much I can do about that. We still haven't found a bomb, but I think I know where my secret room is at least. And since it's basement 1, it doesn't really matter if we take any damage, I suppose, but I would like to avoid it as much as I can. Yeah, and that's technically a bomb. Just not the kind of bomb I was looking for. I could have actually placed the Wheel of Fortune machine in there. Would have instantly destroyed it and maybe given us a bomb from that as well, but nah, well. We'll be okay. I'm gonna just save this this item for the boss fight. Not sure if it's gonna be usable at all, but I'm sure it will be useful if we are fighting Lara Jr. or something like that. Or the Duke of Flies, of course. It can't be helped, unfortunately. I'm tempted to still use the item just to get the wisp from it, but I'm not sure if I should waste the charge. But this is fine. There's a lot of red hearts on this floor, so even if I end up taking some damage here or there, it doesn't really matter that much. Just means it's gonna take a minute. If I had one bomb, this fight would be over already for sure, though. Although I'm not sure if I'd want to use the bomb on the Duke of Flies right now, simply because I'd rather go into my secret room at this stage, I suppose, but if I could just get that one bomb item, that would be lovely. Or underwear. Alright. What are we doing today? How fast did that go? 4 minutes? Yeah, we're not doing boss rush. Let's just try and make the best out of this. Let's see if we can get a couple good items during this run. And I'm sure we will. There we go. Immediately an item room. Yum Heart or a mystery item? I actually don't mind Yum Heart on this character. It's probably better than what I currently have. Since this is kind of a, in a way, kind of a niche item, I suppose, simply because it doesn't always have a use, and I am continuously losing the flames on it as well. So I might actually go for Yum Heart, but I like excitement, and my future shines brighter. I believe the Eden's Blessing, it will give me an item for the next run. Like when the next run starts, I'll actually get an item, and that is pretty good. This is a strange room because I can just ignore the big button in the middle until all the enemies are dead, but I guess it's easy to overlook those enemies being there if you're not paying close enough attention, since they are in the strange upside down world after all. But yeah, overall this is looking okay. It's not gonna be the quickest run in the world, but we'll get somewhere. Lover's card is pretty good on this character as well. For obvious reasons, just having large quantities of red hearts available is of course quite nice. Not loving this enemy right here, but if I can manage to dodge it to the best of my abilities, then we're gonna be okay. Not sure what kind of build I would like to have on this character to try and go for things like Boss Rush and Hush, but I'm sure we'll find something somewhere along the line. I'm gonna actually use this item right here because that should clear out the room and create another lovely flame as well. There's once again quite a large amount of red hearts on this floor, surprisingly enough, and once again, I still don't have any bombs, which is unusual, but something that I can live with. Those flames are actually getting destroyed really quickly. I feel like those flames can usually take at least a little bit, but these flames are just gone instantly, which I'm not loving. Not loving this room either when I don't have a bomb available to destroy some of these buckets or some kind of spectral tears. But we'll manage. It's just a little bit tedious is all. Even for the little worms, they're struggling a bit to actually reach me. Ah, well. We found a pill. Could be good, could be bad. What do we got? Lemon Party. Yeah, that seems about right. Given the rest of this build, I might play with the sacrifice room for a little bit, actually. I'm tempted. Min, well, we have tier 8 at least, so that's fine. It's not gonna be the most fun time of my life, but not completely undoable at least, so fair enough. Very decent chance I'm gonna lose my Angel Room chance here, but we'll just see how this goes. Once again, if I had one bomb throughout this run so far, would have just used it on him and gone to the next phase pretty much immediately, but it can't be helped. Occasionally the game just doesn't feel like giving you certain consumables. That's okay. I probably could have played the Wheel of Fortune machine and maybe gotten bomb for that, or maybe bought one from the shop as well, since I do have 6 coins available. But, no, well. It's okay. We'll just have to do what we got with the tier 8 that we have. And so far so good. It's a little scary when I have to get that close to him though, but ultimately not impossible. Ooh boy. Very scary. There's just a lot going on during this fight, you know? But that's also due to a lack of experience on my part, I suppose. Ooh. Just a little bit more. There we go. Got that Angel Room in the end, which I'm actually very happy about. Genuinely quite surprised that that went so well, but fair enough. Holy Light. Well, that's obviously not bad. If I had a bomb, I could blow up this angel statue and maybe go for Mega Satan in this run as well. However, what it looks like is that we're going to play this sacrifice room for a bit because there's so many red hearts on the floor and I'm not really in a rush this run, so I'm just gonna actually take my time. Gonna use the Lover's card here to save some time as well. I'm not immediately going to the lamb, obviously, but I am just gonna walk back and forth for a bit. I'm actually curious. I think I have tried this before. I'm pretty sure this works, but I'm not 100% sure about this. Yeah, okay, that does work. So I can just take half a heart, and that's enough to play with the sacrifice room as well. I might check out my shop, actually, because there is a chance that there's something good in there also. I feel blessed. It's exactly what I need. I guess I could just fight the angels as well, because then I don't have to worry about those things at all. One red card. It's probably okay. Not terrible to just carry around with me, I suppose. Not sure if that creates a wisp actually, but would be nice. Yeah, I could give the angels a shot, I guess. It's not a terrible idea. Was there a bomb in my shop? I didn't even check. There wasn't. Ah, well. That's okay. The next one's gonna be a teleportation to the angel room. Of course, of course. We're getting to the point where the angels will spawn in a second, so that's good. I'm not sure if I have the available hearts required to get the most out of this, but we'll see soon enough, I guess. There was a couple hearts in here for sure. 3 hearts, yeah. Yeah, the item that we got, the bone heart giving item, drops so many hearts on the floor, so that also just makes it so much more tempting. It's a little tedious to have to walk back and forth, but this also just increases our angel room chance for the rest of the run because we'll have those keys. That's not too terrible. And I'm probably going to lose this bone heart thinking about it. I will actually just buy a red heart here as well. I haven't counted. I haven't counted at all, but that's okay. 7 troll bombs. Let's just keep these in a manageable position. There we go. Alright, so the next one's going to be an angel. Then there's going to be coins or soul hearts, and then another angel. So this is at least going to be 3 more hits. And how many hearts are there here? 2. Okay, we're going to lose this bone heart. Alternatively, I could just go with the 1 key piece, because it's very likely that we're going to find a second one in this run. However, I don't want to risk that, really. So let's just see what we can do here. Like, those holy shots, they're gonna do all the damage that I need. And yeah, there you go, that went to bone heart, which is, I guess, not too surprising as well. But anytime I get one of those holy shots, it's gonna take off such a chunk of health against this boss that it is 100% worth it, I think, to try and do it this way. Losing the bone heart is actually kind of a big deal because it does protect you from losing your devil deal. And now I don't have that protection anymore, but simultaneously, I'll find a way to make it work. Did he just take damage from the spike? I didn't even know that was like a thing. Well, this is actually not too terrible. That's a lot of extra uses from my item. Well, this one not particularly, but any other active item that is in the game. It will give us a couple extra uses, so that's not too bad. I'm still kind of tempted to just keep the Wheel of Fortune card, actually. Just because I just want to blow it up somewhere along the line, but I would need to get a bomb somewhere. But I think it wouldn't be too terrible. That does give a wisp, fair enough. Didn't actually know, wasn't 100% sure about that one. I do kind of regret not taking the Yum Heart, but simultaneously the tier rate, I am pretty happy about. I don't think the wisps can do holy shots the way I can, but that's fine. I'll just do my best for them. Try not to disappoint them too much. And I guess I'll just try to lure these bosses into the spikes as well, because apparently they take damage from that. Which is ideal, actually. Don't love this. Don't love this at all. I might actually just leave, like genuinely, because this is getting a precarious health situation. And if you just keep spawning enemies, I can't really do anything about that right now. And this is... I guess a slightly more difficult boss. Yeah, I'm leaving. Alright, well, I'm hoping that I can get another angel room somewhere along the line, but the build's just not quite there yet. We are currently in effectively basement 2, so I'm not too bothered, I suppose, with not having a full key available immediately. But it would have been nice. It would have been really nice for sure. Anyway, let's try and survive this floor. It would be kind of a waste to die now after all that effort. These enemies are just going to hang out. I need to be careful of that one fire in the bottom left there, because that is very easily going to lose my angel room chance there as well. And there is a white fire there as well, so I can turn into the lost if I so desire. I probably wouldn't have minded that for this room in particular. just because of the buckets once again. Although, the enemies are working with me a little bit more, although that one's definitely just running into the corner there. But the holy shot once again is doing all the work that I really need. I could have just used the lemonade as well because it's fully charged and I have enough soul hearts to play around with it a little bit at least, but I'm not loving that idea. I don't hate this actually. And while the excitement is fun, this is not bad. Especially if, once again, if I can get pause or something, like it's a great combination. And it's part of the Lord of the Flies transformation. Any flight I can get would make life a little easier as well. So, oh boy. Well, there went our angel room, unfortunately, this time around. But that's fair enough. It's the floor after the first or angel room, rather, so odds were that we were going to lose that fairly quickly, especially with the choices that I made regarding the angels during the sacrifice room, unfortunately. If I step into those spikes, I die, so let's not do that. That would be the one thing I would really recommend not doing. There is finally a bomb in my life. Hopefully we can make some use out of that as well. And I'm a little tempted to just use the loss for the rest of this floor, because it would make life potentially a little bit easier and safer as well with that Holy Mantle effect. And to keep some of my health available for the rest as well, but there is of course the added danger that I might just die. And that's not exactly the kind of risk I want to take right now. So instead, slow and steady. Although that is a chest that I can only get as the loss right now. I don't have any keys, unfortunately. There's a couple locations where my secret room could be. And I think it's actually almost guaranteed to be that place right there, especially with how these rooms are laid out. I'm just going to check over here. And I have regretted doing this in the past. There we go, that's a full health. Range down, bombs are key. That doesn't affect me because I have nothing. But yeah, I have regretted using my bombs like that early on, but with this floor in particular, it's not too bad, simply because there is the fact that you can just become the Lost and get stuff that way. You don't really need bombs as much for some of those rocky rooms. There's a lot of enemies under the water today as well, which I'm loving. Big fan. Alright, there we go. 2 more bombs. I'm guessing my super secret room is over here, so I'm just going to try that out as well. I have no interest in going to the mines this run, by the way. I should point that out, because just don't really feel like it. But let's see, we got Rainmaker, which is not too bad, but once again a boss that is flying, so can't really use my item again, which is unfortunate. And if he just keeps doing that attack, I don't mind that either, because it's a little easier to dodge than some of his other ones. Especially this one can be a bit precarious if there's just suddenly a tier underneath you. But so far, I can accept this. Just barely didn't have the range there to hit with that holy tier, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. Yeah, don't mind the downpour bosses too much, honestly. It's like the big one that like jumps around. That one's a little bit tricky sometimes, but all the other ones, they're not too bad. More tier 8 is fine, so I don't mind that. There is still my curse room to check. And I might actually just check that out as Bethany rather than the Lost, even though we will take some damage for it, because I just don't really want to risk it. This actually wouldn't have been too bad of a devil deal to check out with the Lost, admittedly, but yeah, fair enough. Let's see if I don't mess this up. There you go. Some spiders. No worries. And I will have to clear one room as the Lost by doing this, which is a little bit dangerous, but we did get a key out of it, so I'm gonna just check out my shop, actually. Compost is actually tempting. But that's mostly just because this lemonade, I don't love it. It's just not really having an effect in this run, and that's just very frustrating. I might actually just bomb the donation machine. We do have that option now. We did end up getting some money out of that shopkeeper as well, but this is going to get a lot more use. Let me just once again check what this item actually does. Converts pickups into blue flies, doubles your current blue flies, spawn with blue flies when you don't have any. Does this also work in the shop? It does not. Well, it kind of works, but it doesn't work the way I would have liked. And I could have gone for a Rainmaker again as the Lost in the Mirror Dimension, and maybe we could have gotten a couple more pickups that way as well. But I'd rather just move on. I don't really want to spend too much more time on this floor. I don't want to accidentally risk just taking silly damage somewhere along the line and losing out big time on that, so let's just not. That got rid of the scariest enemy in the room immediately thanks to a lucky holy tear there, so that's good. And that's not the room you want to see. It can be a little precarious once you have a couple of these jumping randomly and a couple not, but it worked out fortunately. Now, does this turn chests? It also turns chests into things. That is actually good to know as well. We do now have a couple of spiders to play with, so that's also good. We have an interesting flame, which I'm not sure what it's going to do. I'm a little concerned that it's going to just turn stuff into spiders or flies when it breaks. So hopefully that's going to not work out in a bad way. But one interesting thing about this item in particular also is the duplication of flies and such is going to be kind of big if we end up using the item just 10 times in a row or something like that, because suddenly we'll just have 10 times as many things available, and that would obviously be pretty great. So hopefully we can make some use out of that. We're getting a pretty nice floor so far as well, which is wonderful, since our damage is still just base damage currently, so we're not doing too much. Really, it's mostly the holy tears that are doing much of anything, which is not ideal, but manageable in the end, and that's really all you need. I'm not really sure what that flame did. It was kind of hard to tell if it even did anything, but that's fine. There we go. 2 champions in one room. Unfortunately, they're all on the wall, but it can be a little annoying to have to deal with 2 of these on 2 different sides, one of which being a champion, but they do die relatively quickly. There's currently no red hearts on this floor, so I'm just not quite ready to risk that cursed room. Simultaneously, it probably wouldn't be too terrible of an idea. Not currently sure where my secret room is, but so far we've found a lot of options where it isn't, so that's kind of good in a way. And I wouldn't mind if I can keep one of these alive just to shoot the door for a bit, but it's going to be a little tricky for sure, since these enemies aren't the nicest of the bunch, and also I just killed a lot of them, so that also doesn't help. But I wouldn't have minded to go into that bedroom over there. There is technically a chance that my secret room is in the room above me, and then we can just bomb our way in there through that, but not guaranteed. This room's not too terrible either, provided I can get rid of one of them. Ah, God, that one just bounced all over the place, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah, this build needs damage. That's really the main thing. I just need to have some damage in this build, because it is struggling to beat enemies right now. And we're mostly fighting active items, which is not great. Dim Bulb, I'm not really sure how it works on this character, if I'm honest. Or if it even really works at all. Hive Mind is very tempting. I don't really have the money to get it right now, but it is pretty much just going to improve our situation. I will go for that chest, I think. And the Liberty Cap, which is a trinket. And we got some bombs back from that as well. So we could actually technically enter our bedroom right now, but I'm just going to leave that idea alone for now. I'm still not sure what my secret room is, but all of the options are pretty horrendous. It could be below here, I think, actually. That might almost certainly be it, because I think all the other rooms have been pretty much impossible. Or it's just here. Alternatively, it's just next to this one instead. Oh, this is a room. There we go. Alright, now we got a couple bombs to play with. I'm just very certain it's here, so I'm just gonna try this. Yeah, there you go. 2 buttons. Didn't get any money, unfortunately. Let's just, yeah. Tried to blow up the shopkeeper for good measure, but I failed slightly. Alright, so the bedroom is still an option. I have 5 bombs at this point, so I'm not too bothered about that. I will just quickly try out the boss, though. Don't love that. Don't love that at all. Out of every boss we could have gotten, that is not great. Because this one can be a little precarious for sure, especially If you don't have the speed to deal with him, that will, but, you know, base speed, pretty good. Base speed of 1 after all. And he is working along rather well, so that is kind of acceptable at least. There we go. Getting better at that, I feel. Yeah, I didn't get a angel room, but I wasn't exactly expecting it. So it's just a shame that we took exactly 1 hit of damage on this entire floor, because that did ruin everything ultimately. But that's the way it is with this character, I suppose. I have 4 bombs. I could blow up my donation machine 4 times to just try and get as much money as possible. I will check out my curse room real quick, because there is some red health on this floor now. Not a lot, but a little. Enough, really. And it's this one again. Hoping for the remote controlled troll bomb here, but unfortunately not really. Not really remote controlled, I guess, but it's... Well, I got it in the end. Shot speed up, not bad. Luck up, definitely not bad. I'm guessing that will affect these holy shot tiers as well, so that would be ideal. A little tempted to check out the bedroom instead of bombing my donation machine, but I don't think it's the right play. I'm gonna do it anyway, because, you know, bedrooms are fun, but it almost certainly, yeah. Because it does cost a lot of bombs to get what you want. But there is a crawl space here. And it does... I should have gone here much sooner. Sack of pennies would have been so good. Oh well. Minus his touch. I don't think I have a way to get there, unfortunately, so I will just leave that alone. I can sleep in the bed. I can use my Wheel of Fortune next to the shopkeeper in the shop and just blow up everything and hope that I get 8 coins out of it. That seems pretty far-fetched, but I could technically get some more bombs after blowing up everything. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, that was fairly unlikely, I suppose. We did get a key, so that's not too bad. And we did get a bomb out of it as well, actually. But I need to get 3 coins from the donation machine, and that's also not excessively likely. I don't really have a choice, I think, but... Alright, we got 4. Never mind. We don't need likelihood when we can just get things. We have 2 parts of the Lord of the Flies transformation now. So that's also not too shabby. So we are getting close to flight in any case. And flight would help me out a little bit because I am just running into everything right now. I do once again need to get a bomb in case we do get an angel room, because otherwise I cannot actually fight the angel. But simultaneously, our build hasn't improved that much since the last angel I tried to fight. But oh well, hopefully we can make something work here. It was a planetarium with our 1% chance, so yeah, fair enough, I guess. Dash by whew. Okay, so this is Mars. This might be my downfall. One fun thing about Mars is you can just double tap and indeed you dash. But I found that with the way I move in this game, I have a tendency to use that thing by accident. So we're gonna see how it's gonna play out today. But there is a reasonable chance that I will just accidentally dash into my own death. So just be aware of that. And also I'm not exactly sure how much damage it deals. And genuinely I didn't think that fire would be able to hit me where I was. And I don't even understand where those tears even come from at this stage, because that's actually really annoying. Yeah, and stuff like that, it just doesn't quite work. Yeah, that's actually so frustrating, because I wouldn't have minded to get an angel room somewhere in this run. I still have a 25% chance of the door opening at least, but it's not looking too great, unfortunately. But yeah, stuff like that. I didn't mean to use it there. It just kind of happened because I tapped down twice without even realizing it. So yeah, we're in the danger zone right now, but hopefully that's going to be okay. I can at least clear some of these enemies rather easily with Mars, but that time I ran into a skull. You know what? Sometimes you gotta make strange decisions to see what happens, and this is gonna be one of those days. I should probably use my item from time to time as well, because I've not really been doing that either. Yeah, we're getting a lot of holy shots right now. The luck up, I don't know how much it affects it, but I do feel luckier. I do feel like things are going a little bit easier right now, so I can't appreciate that much at least. One black heart doesn't really do that much for me. Temperance machine could be good. But let's just turn all of that into things. So you do actually get the dim bulb effect with this, so that's actually not bad. I wasn't 100% sure about that, if it would give us the dim bulb, but also... so an interesting aspect about those flames is that I believe that when you're invulnerable, they are effectively invulnerable as well. This is also not a terrible item. I'm not sure if it activates the dim bulb though. It does not. That's actually really tempting. This is not bad at all. But yeah, usually when you're invulnerable, your flames are invulnerable as well. But I feel like my flames just sort of insta-disappeared the moment I ran into those enemies. Which is not great. The candle's tempting. But I don't really want to spend the money on. I think I will actually just take this. Not sure what kind of flames we're going to get out of this, but it costs a decent amount of money to use this item, but the damage up you get from it is pretty good, especially when your damage has not increased since the first basement floor. So I have an option available to increase my damage for a room at least, so that's kind of nice. Took some damage there that I didn't exactly want to take because there's not that much health on the floor, which is to say there isn't health on the floor. But that's okay. I'm struggling a little bit with these enemies right here. Like the holy shot right now is our damage. It is the one source of damage that we currently have. It's holy shot and tier 8. And any luck up that we might find. And of course, Mars. But Mars is a little tricky to use. This is a room. This might be one where Mars actually shines as well, because I think I can just do that. Yeah. Not sure how that's going to work on the way back, but... yeah, that went about as well as expected. But I did get my red heart back, so... I ended up with more health than I lost in that room. But interesting, hadn't seen that room before. I'm going to look for my secret room real quick as well, because I could use really anything, and secret rooms do have a tendency to contain anything, so a secret room would be nice. And I think we are rather limited in terms of options as well, where it could be. And there you go. Let's just blow up this for good measure. I also look very spooky right now. I actually really like this aesthetically, but right now I would rather have something that's perhaps a little better than aesthetically pleasing, although that is not really what I would usually say. We did get the 1% planetarium chance, so I can't really complain too much. But some planetarium items are better than others. There was one fly there, and he just sort of stayed inside me, and I genuinely didn't see him. There you go. That's a good way to lose a decent chunk of health right there as well. So, pretty good, pretty good. Alright. Let's see. I feel like we got basically all the red hearts on the first floor, and then they forgot to put them in any of the other ones, and that is working against me a little bit. But at the moment I say that, the game is kind and gives me a rotten heart as well, so technically we're at full health, and I think this could be protection against losing our devil deal as well. Even though clearly the chances are not ideal. Oh, good. The rock was immediately next to the start of the room. Very nice. Yep, meant to do that. That was a tactical movement right there. That was me not losing my devil deal because I had a rotten heart. So, again, pretty good. Rotten hearts do actually end up being pretty valuable then for this character, specifically for that purpose. But I don't love that I have Mars right now because I am sort of circling around trying to get any sort of decent angle on him, and that there's a decent chance I'm just going to run face first into that rock. I didn't actually get a devil deal there, unfortunately, but we did get more tier 8, which surprisingly wasn't capped yet, so, you know, you could call it a positive. Since we're at full health, I can also now go to that challenge room, I'm fairly sure, and I also have a decent idea where my super secret room is. I think it's in the room with that one pill over there. But let's check out this first. There is a golden chest, so I might as well. We're just going to be fighting regular enemies here anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. We're not going to be losing any of our devil deal chances because we already didn't have one. And it's definitely not going to open anymore. Yeah, the holy shot also just insta-kills the bunches of spiders that these things drop as well, which is amazing. That does make life a little bit easier. Since I do have to shoot it a couple times otherwise. Yeah. Just any damage that would be nice. But I am just hoarding my money right now in case we end up just not getting any damage for the more difficult parts of the game. Because I think that's probably going to be wise. I'm pretty sure I have already done the lamb with this character, so... If anything, if I can just get... This doesn't really do anything for me. If I can just get to the end with a large quantity of money, that'll probably be okay. But I would really, really like to have... not there, really. Maybe next to the shop, then. I would really not mind a damage up and at least one more angel room so I could at least go to Mega Satan. I would really like to get that out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Red chest could have been a teleportation. Wasn't. I'm gonna actually just take this because the curse immunity is just pretty nice to have. Being able to never get cursed is just such a useful thing on occasion. Tried to dash into the door there in a cool way. Unfortunately didn't manage to do it. There is 0 red hearts left on this floor. So I won't be playing with my sacrifice room either. Let's just go. Could technically do the beast, but I think I'd be miserable. So I'm gonna just leave that idea alone. But, you know, it's an option. And a couple holy shots there is plenty to deal with the nastiness that awaits us here. Very good. I do have some keys available, but if I find a golden key, that would be obviously more ideal. Plus, I still am pretty close to getting flight. If I can get any more fly items, so I'd rather not worry about that just yet. This is not a fun room. And I just Mars'd in there as well, which is not ideal either. There you go. That's the spookiest thing in the room dead. Okay, there we go. There is a little bit of money to be gained here. I could play the battery baby for a bit. To at least get some progress in this run. Not that I've given up hope on this run or anything. It's just that I'm a little frightened. And yeah, that was another devil deal right in the garbage bag right there. So that's pretty good. I can at least increase my angel room chance pretty significantly by just blowing up, yeah. That more or less put it back to 100% just because we haven't gotten one in so long. At least the door will probably open. If we can find a shopkeeper as well, then that's pretty much a given. So it's not too bad. I just need to not take damage to Mom, so that'll be fun. It's a little precarious, as I like to say, but ultimately not impossible. My secret room is not next to that room, but potentially it's down here. It's not over here. Potentially it's behind that, though. That's the 2 of diamonds. I would be really happy. 2 of hearts, not bad, actually. Acceptable happiness. Let's go in here. 2 of hearts, another one. So I can at least heal up, so that's good. And we have a 2 of spades, which isn't terrible. Which one of these do I like the most? Probably the 2 of hearts, actually. I don't mind the safety because I'm playing a little worse than usual. Yep. So I wouldn't mind just having a little bit more to play with. I do regret, still, to this point, getting rid of that bone heart that I got so early in the run, because quite frankly, it would have made life so much easier, I think. Any angel rooms would have definitely been an improvement to this run, but you know what? That's how it goes sometimes. Don't love these enemies very much because of everything that they do. They are just worse versions of the regular jumping enemies, so it can be rather precarious. I have war available. Mars rather, not war. I just associate it with war, I guess. Which makes sense because it's Mars, but you know, fair enough. I'm gonna take this instead of the golden thing that I haven't used that. Just because of that right there. It's a very good item on this character, especially with large quantities of soul hearts, so that is hopefully gonna make life a little easier. Just get a couple of these flames available. I have a large quantity of soul hearts, so that should be fine in terms of actually trying to get out of this alive. So, liking that. There is a battery on this floor as well that I can get. We have a decent chance of getting a angel room or devil deal. Hoping for an angel room, of course, but we'll see what we can get. I would like to visit my shop first before we get down to do anything. It's a large floor, but we're getting through it. There you go, look at that. Also, the dim bulb as well is going to help us out a lot, I think. It's going to actually increase our stats a little bit, and that's just very nice right now. That's tempting. It's actually very tempting right there. Even though it does spawn more champions, just having some damage throughout this run, I can kind of appreciate. So, you know, I'll take that. I'll take that too. And don't really need money anymore, but yeah, I'll just do that as well. Stars card, not terrible. Could use it to go to the beast still. It's still an option. But I think instead I will just clear out one more room. Still need to visit my secret room as well, I just realized. Don't love this room at all. Don't want to lose my flames at this stage. I kind of want to experiment with Mars a little bit more, because I am curious if it is indeed not making my flames invulnerable when I am invulnerable. Yeah, it definitely made it smaller, so that's not good. Not good. It's not good at all. Well, what can you do? Alright, let's go visit our secret room. There is still some hearts on the floor that I would like to get as well. Pretty sure that's over there. It's greed, which I'll just take care of the old-fashioned way, which is a large quantity of lasers. Shooting them right in the face, and then right here. Should I get those gray chests? I probably should, huh? Doesn't seem like a terrible idea in any case. Because I could use just a little bit more of anything really, so I think I will go for these. Go, unidentified pill, Verp. And the old capacitor, which apparently can actually be pretty good if you have the 4.5 volt item, which I didn't connect immediately. But yeah, that is an instance where that item does become rather powerful. So that's nice. But I think I'm ready to fight Mom, and I'm hoping I'm just not gonna mess this up by accident. Here's the red one. And yeah, that was pretty much impossible to mess up with how that went, so that's good. No, I haven't done the lamb yet. I have only done blue baby on this character. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the blue baby icon, right? Oh god. I'm gonna come back to that. Hang on, let me just check out this angel room real quick. Well, there you go, that's damage. Suddenly, we have a build. And would you look at that? Suddenly the build's a lot more powerful. Alright, let's just open a couple of these, because I'm not really too bothered right now. The fact that that's a health up as well is so good for this character. Moon card. Child's leash. Not really much of anything. Wouldn't mind a luck up or something, but... or just an item, yeah, there you go. Well, fair enough. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna exit game. I'm gonna check what I've done on this character. Who has done the lamb? There you go. That doesn't really help me tell which one is which, does it? Ah, what a terrible time I'm having. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna real quickly check which one of these I actually have to do, because this is ridiculous. Alright. It's the Polaroid. I need to get the Polaroid on this character. That should not have been that difficult, but here we are. This is the level that I'm currently playing at, and I'm surprised, quite frankly, that we've made it this far already. But you know what? Acceptable. This is such a mess for sure. There is the Peep just hanging out as well, just trying to blend in. You know what? I cannot be bothered with Peep right now. I just spent 17 minutes trying to figure out if I had to take the Polaroid or the negative. I'm ready to just take it easy for the rest of this run, I think. That's another great room for lasers. I wouldn't have minded if I shot that in the very much the wrong direction, but there you go. It ended up working out pretty okay. We have 31 soul hearts, so that's 15 uses of this item. that I can just use for free, which is obviously pretty great. We'll just take that golden key as well in case we end up finding something good. Ooh, Emperor? That's not bad. If I can somehow find a way to get into Hush, that'll be pretty good, because apparently it doesn't work very well. But let's just do this real quick. We're fighting Mr. Fred in this strange room that's not really part of anything. Let's just wait for these. And actually, I can just use the spectral tears like this to deal with the remaining enemies as well. Doesn't go too fast, but it'll work eventually. And they will get loose in a second as well. I'm bored. Let's just do this real quick. But that does give us an extra boss room item. I believe when we go through this back again, it'll just put us back where we were. Yeah. It's not a bad card. It's really nice to have unlocked. But if you do it in the Hush fight, instead of Hush, you just fight Monstro, and then you still get the unlock, I think. So, obviously, that is also pretty nice. It's a pretty nice way to live life in that it just makes life a lot easier. Did not realize there would be pins in that room, but fair enough. But yeah, every now and then getting an extra boss room item for a boss that's not too difficult to fight, I think is a perfectly reasonable way to live life, so... Definitely a good card to unlock. You do need to be greedier mode with Tainted Blue Baby, but it's doable if you're not completely sleep deprived, and even if you are, technically still doable, so it's fine. Oh boy. Accidentally shot at a mimic immediately, which is always a good way to start any room. And I can probably... that didn't go the way I planned it. I think my homing tears will probably more or less deal with this, but I am just losing a flames because I kept getting the mimic to shoot at me instead, which wasn't great. Now this is a room where I would kind of expect pins instead, because those things in the middle aren't really going to do much of anything. But fair enough, I suppose. I'm no room designer. I only play the game. Okay, so not sure where my secret room is, but I'm guessing it's below here. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems reasonable. If I can go into my curse room, never mind, it's on neither of these places. Unfortunate. But perhaps we can find it somewhere else along the line. I would still like to go for any secret room that I may find, because really anything that I can get out of a secret room would be kind of nice right now. I lost some of my devil deal chance there by getting hit by an eye by doing that room a little weird. And the cork, I guess, could be pretty good if I find Aquarius or something like that, but that's... I kind of forgot I even had Mars. Which may have been obvious if you just saw what happened, I suppose, but... Yeah, that does happen on occasion. I guess I'll just clear the boss real quick. Actually, I'm gonna go into my super secret room and then clear the boss real quick. Yeah. Or I could go look for a secret room and get slightly more devil deal chance / angel room chance by just blowing up the shopkeeper in there as well. Which might be worthwhile. I can go into my curse room because there is plenty of red hearts still on the floor, which is tempting. There is also a challenge room that requires red hearts, which is not too bad. I am losing a large quantity of flames right now, which I shouldn't be doing. How does this work, actually? Not terribly, but I do like the stat ups that I get every time I use my item, so I think I'll just leave that alone. That time I shot the eye with some fear in my heart, because I just wanted to get rid of it as quickly as I could. Okay, so is my secret room over here somewhere? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Very good. One golden poop, couple of shopkeepers, no problemo. 2% extra angel room chance, 0.5 devil deal. I'm feeling good. Let's go do this real quick though. Not a terrible start to a challenge room. Next one is, well, basically gonna just die immediately, so that's not too bad either. And it dropped a red heart, so even more tempting to go into my curse room right now. And did end up losing one more charge there, but that's fine. Maybe we can get it back in the curse room. Nope, once again this one. It seems to be the only curse room currently in my pool of rooms somehow, so fair enough. And with that, I think it's about time we do the boss and hope that we get something with that solid 15.2% chance of a door opening. And I do need to remember to actually get that Eternal Heart afterwards, but I don't think it matters too much. Low-key. Yeah, that does work, and well, there you go. Who needs chances? Spear of Destiny, I mean... it's not bad, it just doesn't do that much. Fair enough, I suppose. It says it deals 2 times my damage, but I feel it does that like every once in a blue moon. Because, well, you need to get quite close as well, but it also just doesn't seem to have a very high tick rate in terms of how much it actually hits, which makes it a little bit worse, but oh well. We have a large quantity of health right now, which I'm actually very happy with. So that would be probably good enough to get through this. There is a bunch of stuff over here. There's Arrow Walk, which is not a bad card by any means. But I just don't really care. I'd rather just play the game quick than safe. Plus I have the 2 hearts as well, which is more or less gonna keep me safe as well. So all in all, it's probably gonna be okay. Let's just do that. It's a good way to clear anything, really. We once again have not terrible Angel Room chance just yet. We haven't lost it yet either, but hopefully we can retain that for the remainder of this floor for what you could call the second time this run. Nope, ran into a red poop as it came back because I just wanted to pick up those bombs really badly. I even thought, should I wait? And I didn't. And there you go. That's what happens when you don't wait on things. I'm gonna actually go into my curse room real quick because there's a rainbow poop over there. And that will probably solve any health issues that I will gain from this. So I'm actually just gonna leave that there, I think, as well. I'll heal it up when I'm a little bit further into the floor because that is a lot of health right there. So let's leave that alone. That's a good room to just clear instantly as well, so I'm happy about that. And definitely gonna forget about that rainbow poop, but I mean there is technically a chance that I won't. And I didn't really want to deal with some of the enemies that were waiting for me in the corner there, so once again a great use of the old shoop de whoop. Such a strong item on this character because of those flames. I mean if you get the Book of Virtues on any other character it's still very good obviously, but this one just starts with it and it does make life a lot less complicated in a lot of different ways. But the fact that I can use it multiple times because of the soul heart situation as well does make it even more interesting in terms of just insta-killing a lot of scary rooms. So all in all, I'm not too bothered about it. Feeling pretty happy about what it is. And maybe we'll never actually have to deal with that rainbow poop because quite frankly the whole floor seems intent on healing me. So all in all, things are looking up. Things are looking up finally. There you go. Haven't really been on the lookout for Tinted Rocks either, but it doesn't really matter too much on this character anyway. So if I missed a bunch of them, my apologies. I simply am not looking for them. Yeah, alright. There we go. Yep, that clears out a boss. The womb is scarred. That's really not what you want, because scarred womb is a horrendous place to be. But we have the Polaroid, so we're going up. Again, if I could have gone to Hush this run, which with every passing moment seemed more and more unlikely because we're in the 47-minute mark as we speak. I had the Emperor card. I definitely would have tried and cheese it because I am curious if that still works. Ooh, one of those. Don't frequently see these skeletons, but you do need to watch out for the blue flames they leave behind. They're not friendly blue flames, and also they have a decent amount of health usually, and as you can see, the champion form is not much better. Let's just clear that. It's nice to just have a button available that just says, let's just clear that, and it clears that just exclusively. It's a very nice and safe measure to live life. And I, for one, can appreciate that. I probably should be at least a little more careful with the amount of soul hearts I'm using right now, but simultaneously, we've still got 15 uses left, and that's more or less an entire floor, so I'm not too bothered either. And 92 coins. Like, on the one hand, the golden Razor would have definitely been very good at this stage. But the fact of the matter is that Shoop the Whoop has been destroying every single room everywhere. So, yeah, I'm not too bothered. If I have any sort of teleportation, I'm tempted by that challenge room, actually. Because that red chest could, again, be an angel room or something like that. But simultaneously, we already have Sacred Heart. What more could you possibly want from your angel rooms, anyway? So then maybe I won't bother. Shot speed up is fine. Keeping that 2 of hearts because I think it's going to end up being useful. But I might actually just save the remaining shots that I have of Shoop the Whoop until I reach Mega Satan and then just use all of them. But not sure how I feel about that just yet. It's not a huge fan of those enemies because they can be causing a bit of a ruckus, as you can see right there. But genuinely, once again, Sacred Heart is a savior to any run, no matter how bad it is. Suddenly my damage is 12, even though I have technically 2 damage ups. I have the Champion's Belt, and I have Sacred Heart. And I think, yeah, those were the only damage ups that we've actually gotten. And it has increased our damage by such a ludicrous amount. One could argue that using Shoop the Whoop on regular enemies is worse than using it on the Haunt, but the Haunt died so quickly at this stage that it doesn't really matter that much, does it? So I'm not too bothered. Well then. Well then. that's that's basically an extra use per room. I mean, this room it was gonna charge anyway, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna charge immediately after Isaac as well. Yeah, that's just really nice, isn't it? Being able to do that twice in a row is just very nice on any character, but I'm pretty sure that if Isaac decides to die, which he will soon enough, I think. Come on, there you go. That charges it instantly. We don't get the stat ups, unfortunately, because of this, but the stat ups are pretty good, though. Yeah, I think I'll actually go with the stat ups. I with this character specifically, I don't particularly need to have one more charge every single time, because it's gonna charge up by itself because of all the soul hearts anyway, so I don't really need to worry about that much, do I? Probably not. Oop. Number 1, Fire Mind. Yeah, I don't really love any of this, but I mean, this is fine. Is this Seraphim? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of soul hearts, actually, in the end. I don't hate this, but it's just the explosions are a little spooky. Oh, it does make my sword very cool looking, though. You know what? I don't mind it anymore. I've made my choice. Aesthetically, it's the correct option. Immediately got hit by the first boss on the floor, which is always good. And that's not terrible. There's only one item there, unfortunately, but you know what? Brittle Bones, I believe that is called. Replaces all your red heart containers with 6 bone hearts. You know what? Maybe not. I just realized what the implications of that are with this character, and I don't think I want to. I don't think that is currently a good idea, because I think I'll basically just be very scared for the rest of the run. Also, it makes my 2 hearts a lot less good. That's really the main reason. Weird room. But yeah, the 2 of hearts is kind of important. This is... it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still not bad. Especially if you try to keep it short range all the time. But the way this item works nowadays isn't as ridiculous as it once was. Like, all the things... It used to just give you so much extra damage. And it would lower as distance traveled, but it just, it didn't really matter that much, if I'm honest. But nowadays it gives you just your damage stays 0.5 up, which is still good, but specifically for things like flies and things, it's no longer as good. Because flies were just getting so strong from Proptosis, and now they're fine, but not as ridiculous anymore. Which is fair enough, I guess. Alright, Bab. That takes care of the first 2 phases, and the third one died immediately afterwards. So, that's that done. I might just clear out the rest of this floor. There is a lot of red hearts on this floor, so I'm not really too bothered about taking damage. I like how my speed is still just 1. It hasn't actually increased. The only increase I have is from my trinket on occasion. Interesting room right there with some hush-based enemies, but fair enough. I could look for a secret room as well, I guess. I do have some bombs available, and I think there's only so many places it could be anyway. That's 2 chests, so that's very good. Somewhat regret using that reroll thing, but you know. I hoped that I wouldn't find something good. Also known as I just didn't think that would be an option. I briefly gave it a thought, like, am I gonna get 2 chests anywhere? And I was like, probably not. And that's why I just used it immediately instead. And that one's on me, I suppose. Should definitely use my item on this room just because it's gonna give us status for the dim bulb and also fully recharge it anyway, so no real reason not to. Don't know where my super secret room is, probably not gonna look for it either, so don't worry about that. If you are worried about that, then once again, my apologies, but I will not. Ludovico, I'm actually a little tempted, but only because it doesn't matter that much. Because most of my damage is gonna be from Shoop de Whoop anyway, and I don't mind it during the Mega Satan fight, actually. But if we get a Delirium Portal, then it's definitely just going to be worse, so I don't think I'm going to bother, actually. I just don't really like Ludovico. It's never really been that good or fun, in my opinion, and I'd rather just leave that alone. I don't know if it's changed, actually, in any way, but it just says controllable tier, and that is indeed my experience with it as well. It's fine, but it's not fun or good, so I'd rather just stick with the build that I currently have, which is fun and good, and just leave it at that. Probably the better choice. And I will just use that there because this room is horrendous. Even though we might end up not having a charge available for whatever. Let's just use this for good measure. It makes my tears, it doesn't make them look different. I figured if that made my tears purple, then I would have regretted my choice there, but since it didn't, I mean, what's the point at that stage? A little tempted by Brittle Bones, actually, but at the same time, I think this build is fine the way it is. There you go. That's a fun boss to get in a very tiny room. Eternal Heart. Well, there's no chance that that one's gonna stay, and we'll see what we can get, I guess, but let's see what we can do here. Could have healed up, didn't. And that's the end of that statement. Let's go fight Mega Satan. Yeah, that's pretty effective. Yeah, we'll say that that gets the job done rather well, I suppose. Just shooting large quantities of death lasers at everything there is a pretty good way to solve anyone's problems. I still want to keep a couple for when we fight the second phase, and in the instance of a Delirium Portal, I would like to have some choices available. There went my Eternal Heart due to my own explosion, so yeah, that went about as good as I could have expected with the Fire Mind. But oh well, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. I do like the way that looks, though. It does look so cool. All those lasers shooting all at once. It's such a cool effect, isn't it? Very happy about how that looks. I'm just gonna sit here and shoot his face. I think that should be the end of him pretty soon. Yeah, there you go. Second phase coming up. And time to just start the washing machine. I don't know why that tier shot to the right, but you know, it did. And I'm a little concerned about this because those flames are pretty much undodgeable. I don't know what is going on with this attack, but that's rough. What was that? I'm not really sure what was going on with that attack, but it seemed wrong. I'm actually just gonna use up all of them because I'm not feeling confident about how this fight is going. Did he get slowed down or something? Like, what actually happened there? I'm not sure. Once again, a great use of Mars. I have 4 soul hearts remaining. I wouldn't mind if this run ended here. There you go. What a good time to be alive. The blessed penny has appeared in the basement. The glowing baby is also there. And we have done a couple nice things as Bethany. And yeah, fair enough. It was kind of a rough one, but we got Sacred Heart, and therefore we won. Also, we got just a couple... Like, Shoop the Whoop ended up being really, really powerful, so I'm pretty happy about that. But all in all, that was odd. Either way, I hope you have all enjoyed it. Next time we play, we'll do a different run as probably a different character. And I hope to see you all there. Bye-bye.